Hello YouTube, this is Travis Dunn with MDL, and this is my vlog for August 14th, 2016. Now, I had mentioned in my last vlog that was going to be my last official vlog, but I did say that I would occasionally do one here or there, kind of update things as, as important events come along. Kind of felt like this was one of those times, and we lost a family member this week. My Aunt Janet. It's my stepdad's sister. She's had many medical problems, and she had a triple bypass surgery, I want to say within the last couple of years. And she was told then that she needed to, once she healed up, she needed to come back, and they needed to do surgery to repair, basically repair the valves in her heart. And it's kind of the same problem that my grandmother had, but in her case, she was too old and too frail for them to do that kind of surgery on her. And things got pretty bad. She was in pretty bad shape. They actually brought her up here to Columbus to have the surgery, and so they went in, they did surgery. They weren't even in a couple hours. They didn't even completely, put her under. The surgery went really well, and my stepdad had mentioned that her feet were, turning colors, and and she was kind of swelling and blowing up. And as soon as the surgery was done and she was out, and her feet, the color in her feet were returning, and she was feeling better, and everything was looking real good. And then all of a sudden, about midweek this week, excuse me, I'm gonna have to. About midweek this week, she took a turn, and apparently, and this is the kind of strange thing, and the thing that kind of bothers me, she had the valves fixed in one side of her heart. Well, the other side of her heart suddenly stopped, and ultimately at that point, there was really nothing they could do for her. And she had to do not resuscitate. She didn't want to be on machine. She didn't want to have to go through dialysis and things like that. So they took her off the machines, and it wasn't long later I got that phone call, and that's the phone call you never want to get about a family member. And this is the aunt that I remember when I was growing up. We would go, because my two aunts and my grandparents lived in the same house, and every year when we were kids, we went to Grandma's house. We always went to Grandma's house for Christmas, and every year, Janet was the baker of the family. She was the one that she could bake cakes and cookies, and she did all the fancy stuff. And she, she taught us kids how to bake, and that's a skill that I still use, and it's a skill that, I hope to one day kind of teach my kids kind of how to do that, and they're at the age where I'm ready to teach them those things. But, I love to bake bread, I love to make cookies, but, man, during Christmas time, you'd go to their house, and they'd have 4 or 5 folding tables, 6-foot folding tables full of cookies and candies, and it was just, she literally spent pretty much the month of pretty much right after Halloween, she would start making stuff. Mostly the candies at first, and then the 3 weeks prior to Christmas, it would be nothing but cookies and stuff. And obviously we got to take all that stuff home. I am a super sucker for warm chocolate, fresh baked chocolate chip cookies. That's my sin. And but I remember, not only going and helping her do that stuff and learning about how to bake and learning the things I shouldn't do, because there, she wasn't perfect, but it was and the sense of family and the sense of tradition, and let me say that most of that, in these last few years have more than gone. In fact, as much as I hate to admit it, I don't get to see them very often. And then Grandma passing away about I want to say a couple years now, and then now Janet passing away, and now it's just Becky in the house, and I don't know what I imagine she's got to be tore up. But she's also going to be alone. She's going to be alone in that house, and I really, really feel bad for her and my stepdad too. I know he's close with his family, but he's not. But he feels a bit. He also has a strong obligation to family, and I will admit that in a way that's something he kind of instilled into me. A sense of family, and that's that's just something you can't undo. It's a bond. It's just something that doesn't exist anymore, and it's sad. It's we're all torn up, and I'll be honest, I've had highs and I've had lows this week, and it's just, and I know truly the emotions haven't hit me yet, and I'm kind of just waiting for that to hit me. And I imagine Monday at the funeral, that's where it's all going to come to a head. But I'm going to miss her. And unfortunately, the family drama has already started. There's already family going, well, I want this, well, I want that. Well, you know what? Frankly, nobody but Becky. The rules and the thing was, when Grandma died, it all went to the girls. When one girl or whatever died, it would go to the other. And then when there was no girls left in that house, it would go to. It would be sold off and whatnot. And I guess it was mentioned to Al and her mom about giving me the spoons. There was a spoon collection at the house, and some of those were legitimately mine. I had a thing whenever somebody went on vacation, I'd have them bring me back one of the state spoons, as they call them, and usually it'll say Myrtle Beach or whatever. Something I got out of sort of collecting, but just as to keep them, I brought them and left them up at their house, and so it's something I'll probably be getting back soon. But yeah, it's hard. It's hard to lose somebody like that. Somebody who's been influenced your life and influenced who you are, and but that's really what the best thing you can do in the world is to have a good influence, to have a good hold on somebody's life, and Janet did. She did. For all her faults, she made my life better, and I have nothing but love and respect for her for that. And yeah, it's just, like I said, it's sad, and I don't know. There's not much more I can say on that. I'll move on. We went school shopping last week, and let me say that situation it's kind of got me in a bad mood about it. We've been in this situation where we're having to keep having to help her sister. We go to her house and she's got absolutely no groceries in the house, and and now she's got a kid at the house, and it's got my wife's mom is living with her, and you know, and my wife obviously can't leave that situation, you know, like that. So we went through some of our pantry and cleared out some of the stuff we've had for a little while, you know, that obviously they would use up quicker than we would. And you know, and then we went out and bought some groceries and bought some necessities and then turned around and took her daughter school shopping. Because her rich fucking daddy, you know, has had everything fucking handed to him, and pardon my French, but it's true. He wouldn't have anything if his daddy didn't leave him a big ass inheritance. You know, and he's had everything handed to him. And, you know, he doesn't have to work. And let me tell you, he took out, in the last 2 years, he's taken out almost $250,000 a year out on basically his inheritance. And, you know, there's a lot. 1 year of $250,000 for me would change a good portion of my life. I can't fathom spending that kind of money, but I know the kind of things he did. It's petty, childish things, and yet he can't equip his daughter for you know, for school. You know, we had to go and buy her bras. And unfortunately, she's a bigger girl, so it wasn't hey, you know, let's just go to Walmart and get her a sports bra, which, you know, the kind of thing that I only have to do with my daughter, you know. And so, you know, those ain't cheap. We're having to go to Victoria's Secret to find a bra her size because she's in a full-size woman bra, and we shouldn't have to be spending that kind of money. And by the time we were all done, I had $500. $500 is what I had for the kids' school supplies. We managed to not only, and don't get me wrong, we, you know, obviously we bought some groceries for ourselves, but buying the groceries for them, buying the groceries for us, and buying the school supplies for them to get started. We went through the $500 that I had put back for school supplies. We went through $600, which is our 2-week budget. We went through $600 of that, and we're into the backup account. I mean, we're going to be within probably less than $200 of running out of money. That's like not having any money in the bank account. So, you know, I told her, I said, you know, we got to skim this week. We got to get through till the next paycheck, and then, you know, I should be able to balance it out. Part of the problem is I've got certain bills. It's a cash flow problem. You know, I have certain bills that always come in between paychecks. So I always have to have a certain amount of money in the bank account to cover those in between the two checks. So that's part of the situation. But us overspending also really hurt. And you know, which sucks because we were doing really well. I mean, like I said, I had $500 of spare cash. Plus I had most of the bills that were coming out between checks covered. So yeah, we really, and I knew it was going to be that way. My wife does this shit every year. But, you know, when you're like my son, I mean, I managed to find some shoes that he liked for about $75, which was actually pretty cheap. Because a lot of what he was looking for was, you know, $100, $120, you know, but admittedly, you know, he goes through almost the whole year with the same pair of shoes. So I don't mind so much spending that kind of money when he manages to make it work. I mean, he's still actually wearing the shoes we bought him last year. And he has some other, you know, cheaper shoes that he does different things in, but, you know, as far as, you know, what he wears, you know, takes care of most of the time, you know, that he does well. So, like I said, I'll spend a little more money on him on that. But, you know, unfortunately, his real father has not been paying child support. He's paid 1 month and 2 weeks, which is a load of bullshit. And, you know, child support, you know, they took all of his tax money, which is like $4,800, and they're going to hold that They did it last year. They're going to do it probably every freaking year. They hold it for exactly 6 months. Maximum amount of time they're allowed to. There's no reason that they should hold it. He's over $30,000 behind in child support, and that, you know, and there's a long convoluted story about that, but still, even in the last couple of years where he's actually legally supposed to have paid child support, not the back stuff, because long story. You know, he's hardly paid any child support. And, you know, considering where he's at, you know, he could end up in jail. Certainly, at some point, they may end up taking his license. And considering the line of work he's in, doing repos, yeah, he's gonna lose his license. It's coming. I don't know how they haven't pretty much almost done it already, but yeah. But yeah, I'm tired. I'm frustrated. Work was better this week, but the past 2 weeks, I can tell you, work was hell. I really didn't want to go to work this week. And the funeral being on a Monday, which is my normal day off, I'm not going to take it, you know, I don't get any bereavement anyway, but that's another freaking story. I don't understand. Businesses have these fucked up things about bereavement. My last job, you had to be full-time to get bereavement. That was the only way you got bereavement. And, and so, but, you know, they had a pretty wide gambit of what was allowed for bereavement. My current job, it's pretty much parent, grandparent, that's it. Or sibling. Grandparent, parent, child, or sibling, that's it. But, you know, it just doesn't make a lick of sense. You know, aunts and uncles are just important. Now, past that, I kind of understand, but at least aunts and uncles, you should get a day. You know, you should get at least one day. I mean, that's the way my old job did it. It's like aunts and uncles were 1 day. Parents and grandparents was 3 days. And a child was up to 5 days. So, but yeah, it's just, it's kind of one of those stupid things that just pisses me off. But, you know, like I said, I'm not going to have to use any vacation days, but I'm scheduled off on Friday. I had taken it off just to use up my holidays, because the last few holidays have been on a, you know, at the beginning of the week and not the end of the week, so I've had some extra days coming available to me. But anyway, that's where I'm going to end this vlog. I apologize that this one's kind of and blah. But I just kind of had some things I wanted to talk about, wanted to get off my chest, and so I truly want to thank everybody for watching. You know, it's been a lot kind of therapeutic to do these vlogs, and like I said, I'll do one from time to time, post some family videos and things like that. You know, but for the most part, what I will be doing is going to be all, you know, the SD project. And speaking of which, me and my brother did our first podcast together 2 weeks ago. We're going to do one this coming Tuesday. It'll post on Wednesday. So please subscribe to my other channel, the SD project, and you know, like I said, I'll continue posting from time to time. But for now, this is where I'm going to end the vlog. I hope everybody has a great day, has a great week, and I will catch you later.